So you do just want Trump to be an autocrat. You say fuck the courts. If Trump thinks it's good for the country, he can do whatever he wants to do.
In this case, yes, absolutely.
That anytime someone goes against Trump, you're forced to start writing a fan fiction in your head about why they're an evil person.
And who goes after the fraud?
The inspectors general that Trump fired. Welcome back, MAGA Demon. Do you disagree with the prompts on the screen?
I actually disagree with both the prompts.
Do you want to go in order, or do you want to talk about the second one first? It's up to you.
Let's talk about the second one first.
Okay.
So what prevents a judge from becoming a super president? You know, if you have
judges can't write executive orders or take any action. Judges don't have enforcement power.
Right. So then, ordering a return flight for a presidential decision from a judge that's previously appointed by a previous administration. And
who was that judge first appointed by?
I'm not sure, actually. I thought it was
before Obama. It was George Bush who appointed that judge. This so-called activist liberal judge is the same judge who ordered Hillary Clinton to release 15,000 emails. Liberal judge, really.
Yeah, but I think it's disingenuous because you on the Aliens Enemies Act, you cited one of the elements.
No, I can read you the Alien Enemies Act.
Right, because read the second element, which talks about invasion or threat of invasion.
You're reading Trump's proclamation. You're not reading the actual text of the law.
Act.
I can read you the actual act right now. Whenever there is a declared war between the United States and any foreign nation or government, or any invasion or predatory incursion is perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the U.S. by any foreign nation or government, and the president makes a proclamation of the event, all natives, citizens, denizens, or subjects of the hostile nation or government being of the age 14 years and upward, who shall be within the U.S., blah, 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 can be deported. It is very specific. Are we at war with Venezuela or El Salvador? Are we at war with them?
Talk about the second point. You just read it. Invasion or threat of invasion.
By any foreign nation or government.
Okay.
Are we at war?
Or it doesn't matter if we're at war or not. It matters.
Okay, did Venezuelan troops invade the U.S.?
Are they here legally or not legally?
That has nothing to do with this law.
It does.
This is a wartime powers law. Hold on. Were Venezuelan troops or El Salvadorian troops invading the U.S.?
It's not their troops. It's their gang members.
Gang members are not government organizations.
Interesting, because you disagree with President Obama then, who, if you read his national security policy, it was
great whataboutism and change of subject, but okay.
It was state actors, non-state actors, transnational crime groups and organizations were a threat to national security. And he
threatening national security is a different thing than being from a foreign nation or government.
It's an element of national security to have 300 gang members.
And also, just so we're clear, if you think that this case is so strong, which I'm promising you it isn't, Trump could have brought them back and fought this in court instead of defying the court order.
Or he could listen to the American people that voted for
So you do just want Trump to be an autocrat. You say fuck the courts. If Trump thinks it's good for the country, he can do whatever he wants to do.
In this case, yes, absolutely, because he's a legitimate president.
So then you're honestly saying that you just want an autocracy, which I can respect the honesty, but then just own that. Don't try to hide from it.
But don't have a judge interfere with it then. Don't have a judge act like he's above the president of the United States.
How is the judge above the president? Trump could have appealed the decision and fought it in court.
There's only one office in the United States that is elected by the constituency of the entire United States.
Which branch of government is able to check that branch by checking their decisions, reviewing their decisions in court?
Right. Yeah, the executive can check the judicial branch and execute what's in the
executive branch cannot defy court orders. The executive branch cannot defy court orders. The courts. The courts are the ones who.
Just watch it then.
I'll watch it, and it's authoritarian and autocratic and un-American.
What are they going to do?
You hate this country. You just hate this country. Just admit
what
it.
are they going to do?
You hate this
country. Hold the
country.
president of the United States in contempt for the
You're
for
right. You're right. There's nothing they can do. You're
right
saying that you want Trump to go full steam ahead, defy the court's authoritarianism. Just admit it.
and protect the American people and the safety
Okay,
and security,
just admit it. You're
and
so close. You're so close. Just admit it.
and stop transnational gangs from infiltrating the United States.
Mr. Demon, Mr. Demon, you're this close. Just admit it. You think that Trump should have unchecked power as long as he's doing good stuff for the country.
Well, you think a judge should be an obstructionist and block?
I think
the
judges
safety
have
and
the power to
security
block
of
executive action.
American
That is what a judge is
citizens?
for. That's why judges exist. They interpret the law.
Yeah, yeah. That judge has made himself and the judicial branch irrelevant.
Really, the same judge who ordered Hillary Clinton to release her emails
Doesn't
is just a
matter.
super liberal judge.
And I bet you there's more like to the story too. Has a judge been threatened? Has a judge gotten any money? From this. Why did the judge make?
You notice how you work backwards,
that-
and if someone
that
goes against
decision?
Trump, you have to start coming up with a
Right.
fan fiction in your head of why
Yeah,
they're evil.
let's investigate the judge. Let's do
No,
it.
but I'm asking if you
like,
notice. I'm
like,
asking
why
if you notice
investigate
what you're
Trump?
doing. I'm just asking if
Investigate
you're
the whole
aware.
thing.
Are you aware that anytime someone goes against Trump, you're forced to start writing a fan fiction in your head about why they're an evil person?
Because that goes to your first talking point. Then it is, we want to limit access of Doge because we don't want to uncover the
No, it's
fraud,
because
the
both of these points are on the
kickbacks,
Constitution,
everything
okay?
else. So
Both
now
of
we
these
need to
points
have
are on
a
the
fear,
Constitution.
right?
Hold on. Mr. Demon, sir, both these points are on the Constitution. I don't know if you know this. The legislative branch decides how much money we spend each year, not the president.
Yeah.
The power of the purse, that's the legislative branch. Doge has no statutory authority to cut funding for anything.
Okay, and who goes after the fraud?
The inspectors general that Trump fired. It's so funny. MAGA says, why have we never audited our government before? These agencies are never audited. USAID was audited dozens of times in 2024 alone. Every single government agency has an inspector general, and collectively every single year, inspectors general identify tens to hundreds of billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse every single year. The first thing Trump did after coming into office is firing government auditors en masse. Is that efficient to fire government auditors en masse and not even replace them? Is that efficient to you?
Let's examine it. Does the Department of Defense have inspector generals?
Every single government department has inspectors general.
So that's a yes. How many straight audits has the Department of Defense?
The
failed?
DoD has failed audits because they don't have like a uniform budgeting system within the department.
But they have an inspector general.
They use different software. Yeah, where do you think I'm getting this information from?
I
Inspector
think
General.
you're pulling out the term inspector general, thinking like that actually prevents fraud and mishandling of information.
As a matter of fact, they do. It is the highest ROI of any government agency. For every $1 that was spent on the inspector general, they brought a return of $26. The inspectors general and the IRS, two things that Trump wants to cut, have the highest ROI of any government agencies. For every $1 you spend on the IRS, they bring in an average of 7. For every $1 you spend on inspectors general, they bring in an average of 26. These are some of the most efficient parts of our government, and the first thing Trump did after coming in is firing them en masse. How does that make any sense?
Okay, so your hypothesis is Doge won't find anything because we have inspector generals
who are
and all
actually
that's accounted
experienced.
for, and
What
Congress
experience
is
does
so
Elon Musk have in
ethical
public finance?
and things like that? And my hypothesis is that
I'm not giving you
they
a
wanna
hypothesis. I'm
limit
stating a fact.
information so that they don't discover the mishandling of information, and this isn't revealed, and there's no takebacks and things like that, and that these politicians...
You are mistaken. I am not giving you a hypothesis. I am listing you facts of the matter, which is that inspectors general have uncovered tens of billions in waste every single year.
Yeah. And what do you think? So do you think Doge will uncover fraud, waste, and abuse?
So far, they've been lying a lot, so... Elon Musk lied about Social Security. He said, why are we sending money to people that are 400 years old? That was a fucking lie. Why are we funding Sesame Street for Arabs? It was a health clinic and childcare center for children in the Middle East that were affected by ISIS, not just Arab Sesame Street. Why are we doing circumcisions in Mozambique? It was an AIDS prevention program that Trump literally funded himself in his first term. Elon Musk and Doge, first of all, lie about all these programs, lie about what they actually are, and then call them waste, fraud, and abuse when they are literally statutorily authorized by being funded through Congress. And if Trump doesn't like them, he can instruct USAID to not renew the contracts, but he can't end existing contracts, and he can't cut appropriated funds by Congress. This is basic constitutional law. You guys are weaponizing ignorance. You don't even know what an inspector general is. You don't even know the fact that Congress has the power of the purse. And you're proving my point again. You just want Trump to be a king. Just admit that. If Trump wants something, you think it should just happen at the snap of a finger.
Okay, first of all, I've served in the government. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan. We bought tons of gravel that wasn't gravel, that was actually like TVs and things like that, and authorizations and things like that. So I've seen like people circumvent like terminology and ethics to like fund different programs and things like that.
That's
So
why we have inspectors general.
right, and
A lot of the numbers that Elon has put
right.
out that are actually real numbers, he's
Yeah.
gotten them from inspectors general reports.
And you think that inspector general goes to the 2-star, the 4-star, like, hey, we're gonna obstruct, what you need to do to save soldiers' lives or
No, they
whatever.
conduct audits on government agencies and then report their findings to Congress when they're budgeting for the next year, which is how the
Yeah.
Constitution makes it out to be.
And DOD failed 10 audits, and there's
You, do you
no
think I'm like arguing in favor of them failing audits?
no. What I think what you're arguing is that the system works and it's broken.
It
And,
works better. It's
and
not
Trump
perfect,
knows
but it
it's
works
broken,
better than Elon
and
Musk,
we're
who has
making
zero.
changes.
Hold on. Elon Musk has zero experience in public finance. He doesn't even know how these departments work in the first place. Inspectors general have experience. Am I saying they're perfect? No. But here's the thing. If Trump thought they weren't doing a good job, he could have replaced them. He didn't even replace them. He just fired them without cause, which, by the way, firing them was also illegal.
Not necessarily, depends
Yes, necessarily. If you want to fire
on
inspector general, you have to give cause for firing them, and you have to give a 30-day notice before you fire them. Trump fired them on his 5th day in office without cause. Some of them got a 2-sentence email saying, "We're taking a different direction. You're fired."
yeah. Why is it government like that? Why isn't it an at will employment like any other
Because when you just start randomly firing people, you end up in situations like where Elon Musk is instructing the Department of Energy to lay off the people that manage our nuclear stockpiles, and then after firing them, begging them to come back to work because they realize, oops, we shouldn't have fired those people. They're actually really important.
Okay, let's dive down into another one. Then the Department of Veteran Affairs. How many
Okay?
employees are with the Department of Veteran Affairs? Do you know?
No idea.
Have you? Okay, it's 483,000 employees
Okay?
right now. In the 90s, it was between 200 and 250,000 employees.
Okay.
So that's a bloated organization.
How do you know it's bloated when you don't know what all those employees are doing?
Because I get my medical care from the Department of Veteran Affairs.
Sounds like something the inspector general could take a look at and then report it to Congress, and then Congress could work on fixing that versus Elon Musk
How do you
illegally
fix
trying
it
to
then?
fire people.
You can't fire anyone, right? They have to. Now have to have
Through congressional approval. Hold on.
483
You can fire people
employees.
with cause. If you have cause of like misconduct or something, you can fire these people. Trump's firing them at will for no reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have you
And
ever
you never addressed, they fired the people that manage our nuclear weapon stockpile by accident. Elon Musk admitted that he fired people and cut funding for Ebola programs by accident. Almost $500 million of food aid was rotting on our docks because Elon Musk didn't want to send it out to the countries that
Okay.
were getting it.
Let's look at the nuclear program, the nuclear reactors in the United States. China just created a Thorium nuclear reactor plant, which is basically the highest technology with
That's great. That has like nothing
right,
to do with
with
what I just
zero
brought up.
meltdown and limited nuclear waste.
That's
So
awesome. That has
why are
nothing to do
they
with what I'm talking
why
about.
are they progressing and able to do this in their infrastructure,
Do you
and
think-
we're sitting
hold
here
on.
with like
Hold on.
1970s, 80s technology?
I'm gonna let it slide that you just completely changed the subject because it's funny you bring up China. People say the USAID is like this stupid, useless organization. Then why does China have the CIDCA, which is the exact same thing as USAID?
Well, I mean,
It turns out that helping fight disease and research disease and fight poverty and hunger around the world can actually build diplomatic power for your country. That's why China has the CIDCA, which does the exact same thing as USAID.
yeah. And then you know, no, I mean, not you're gonna say I'm changing subjects, but we're behind also, like, on this Chips and Science Act.
Yep.
You realize Microsoft just created this like new state of matter. You in school you learned like solid,
Yeah, I know
liquid,
what you're referring to.
right? And now they have this like topological for qubits and quantum computing and things like that, where now you don't have to have ones and zeros. You can have ones and zeros in these infinite combinations for
Yep, it's kind of like
complex
quantum
things.
computing. I understand, but
Right.
again, this
So
what's the connection to anything I've brought up so far?
right, because everything that we've done is talking about the past and 1970s, 80s, and 90s technology. When is the United States going to actually be a hegemon of the world and start like creating those technologies that's advantageous, that makes us
Maybe through subsidies and research grants that would come from Congress doing their job for once instead of the president trying to rule by executive fiat?
you're yeah. See, this is why Biden wasn't elected and Harris. They're not visionaries. They're stuck
I've never once
in
made the claim that Joe
politics
Biden's a
and
visionary.